everybody. Welcome to another yoga session with Rob. Just going to give it a couple seconds, see if anybody joins. Just get seated in Sukhasana, or easy pose. Legs crossed, sit up tall, tall spine. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. And we're just going to start with some breathing. So inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhale fully out through the mouth. Again, inhale and exhale. Beginning to notice the natural rise and fall of the chest. On each exhale, relax the shoulders more and more. Beginning to go internal, settling your energy levels. Now gently place the hands on the knees and pull back slightly. Again, just to engage the upper back so you know which muscles are responsible for making the chest nice and tall, the shoulders are back, protecting the spine. And then begin to breathe again. Trying to extend your inhales and your exhales with a pause at the top and a pause at the bottom. And now as you're breathing, I want you to imagine white energy coming from Mother Earth, coming up through your tailbone to your red chakra or your root chakra. That's I am. It's foundation, stability. Imagine that energy surrounding the chakra as the chakra rotates, cleaning it nice and shiny. Then as it comes up the spine, just below the navel, to your sacral orange chakra, I feel. This is the chakra of creativity. And imagining it surrounding your chakra, spinning it until it's nice and shiny. Grabbing up even further to just below the chest, solar plexus, yellow chakra. I do. This is your willpower chakra. This is the chakra that dictates how you feel about yourself based on internal stimuli and external. Moving up to the middle of the chest or the heart chakra, green. This is the I love. It's where you store your unconditional love, love for yourself, love for others. And traveling again to the throat, blue chakra. This is the chakra of I speak. This is the chakra you use to communicate, to verbally express yourself. Moving up to the middle of the forehead, indigo chakra, third eye. This is the chakra of foresight, intuition, that gut feeling that you get. imagining that white energy surrounding it, rotating it until it's shiny, and then finally coming up through the crown, which is your violet chakra. It is the chakra of knowledge, the chakra of I know. It's your connection with the divinity. It's where you share energy with the universe, and the universe shares energy with you. On your next inhale, exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. This time as you exhale, close the lips. Still keeping that nice sound in the back of the throat as the air swirls up and down as you inhale and exhale. Ujjayi, victory breath, ocean breath for the noise it makes. Keeping this breath for the remainder of your practice. As we inhale, the arms come up, the palms touch. Exhale, the hands to heart center. Inhale, release and lift. Exhale, the hands to heart center. Begin to center the mind, the body, connecting the breath with your movement. This time as we reach up, the right arm comes down, about a foot beside us. Left arm stretches up through the fingertips for length. Exhale, bend. Inhale, stretch. And bend. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bringing the right arm up. Exhale, left arm comes down. Inhale, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, bending over to the left. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, feel the stretch in the side body. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you inhale, bring the left arm up. Right arm comes behind for support. Left hand reaches across the outside of the right knee. Sit up tall. Inhale, lengthen up through your crown. Exhale, look over that right shoulder gently. Inhale through the crown for length. Exhale, looking over the shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, this time bring the gaze forward and then to the left. Inhale. Exhale, switch sides, left arm comes behind. Right arm reaches across, left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Again, inhale for length. Exhale a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale, return the gaze forward. This time look to the right. And release, arms come to the sides, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, flat back. Hands extended. Walk the hands back. Inhale the arms back up. Cross the legs. Exhale, fold. Walking the hands to the front of the mat. And coming back. From here, coming onto our knees, tabletop position. Wrist underneath the shoulders, Knees underneath the hips. And then as you inhale, open your heart to the front of the room. Arch the back. And then as you exhale, round the back, release the head. Inhaling, taking these at your own breath pace. Beginning to warm up the spine. Now begin to do anything organic, anything that speaks to you, anything that feels good. Perhaps dancing line, drawing a circle on the mat with your navel. Stretching back to the side, forward, whatever feels good. Listening to your body. It's okay to bring it to a point of slight discomfort, to challenge yourself, but never to pain. If you haven't already, change directions. And then bringing the wrists back underneath the shoulders, knees back under the hips. Extend the left arm and right leg. Lengthen. Exhale. Bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Reach back. Grab the foot. Quad stretch. Release and extend. Bring the arm down. Switch sides. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Reach back. Grab the top of the foot. Maybe kick the top of the hand into the palm. Release and stretch. Release the hand and the knee back down to the mat. Tucking the toes. We're going to sit the sits bones back up towards the sky as we straighten the legs. Downward facing dog. First dog of your day, so walk your dog. Alternating knees. Walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees as much as you need to get the stomach on top of the thighs. Release the neck and the head. Bring the hands to the elbows, rock side to side. Releasing the hands back down to the mat, slowly walk back to downward facing dog. Bending the knees, coming up onto the toes, step forward.
It breaks my heart cause I know you're the one for me.
Inhale to a flat back, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way to standing. Head lifts, arms to the sides and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Releasing palms forward. Ankles in alignment with the knees, knees with the hips, hips with the shoulders, shoulders with the ears, bringing that head back, standing up against the flat wall. Beginning to warm up the body. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Option to bring the knees down, otherwise lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, sit back. Bend the knees, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to flat back, come all the way up. Arms reach, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, release and lift. Exhale, dive. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Step back 1 foot at a time. Chaturanga. To upward facing dog. To downward facing dog. Again, bend the knees, look in between the hands. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or float. To upward dog. To downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths. Whenever you need to hydrate, please do so. Say hi to the UPS man. Right leg lifts. Bend that knee. Open the hips up. Square the hips. Knee to chest. Hold. Kick back up. Knee to right elbow. Kick back. Knee to left elbow. Kick back. Knee to chest. Step through. 2 separate railroad tracks. Coming up into crescent. Checking your form. Knee over ankle. External rotate. Pull back. Relax the shoulders. Relax the neck. Engaging the low abs. As we exhale, coming forward over that front leg. Exhale the hands back down to the mat. Step back. Option to go into downward facing dog or take your vinyasa. Left leg lifts. Hold. Bend the knee, open the hips. Exhale, square the hips, knee to chest, shoulder over wrists. Inhale. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale. Left elbow. Kick back. Knee to chest, step through. Crescent. Lengthening up through the fingertips. So on each inhale, let's lengthen. Exhale, lunge a little bit deeper. Remembering to be present. Come over that front leg. Option, bring the hands to heart center. Release the hands to the mat, step back. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Round the back into push-up position. Knees come down to the edges of the mat. Big toes come together, sit back. Child's pose. This is where you'll set your intention. The intentions can be anything that you want them to be. It can be a mantra that you can repeat throughout your practice. It's when the mind begins to wander, it'll bring you back to the present, back to your breath. You choose to focus on something you'd like to work on in your life, or personally, to show more gratitude, to be more forgiving, to ask for guidance. And then from child's pose, inhale back up to tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Inhale, step through. Inhale, arms up, warrior one. Rounding the pinky toe side of that back foot. Hips and chest square with the front of the room. Relax the neck and shoulders. Knee over ankle. Be present. Inhale, lengthen up through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the arms back into cactus. Arch the back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time, exhale. Release the arms. Hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Inhale the heart up to the sky. Exhale. Come out over that front leg. Option to bring the shoulder inside the knee. Release the head. Extending the arms. Release the hands, come back. Warrior one. Exhale the hands back down to the mat. Step back. Take your vinyasa. Option to add push-ups. Left leg lifts. Step through. Rise up. Warrior one on the left. Grounding through the pinky toe side of that back foot. So if you need to shorten your stance or adjust it, do so. Exhale, cactus arms, arch the back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release. Interlace the fingers. Inhale the heart to the sky. Exhale, come forward. Humble warrior. Release the hands, come back up. Inhale. Exhale, the hands back down to the mat. Step back. Chaturanga. Top. Taking 3 deep breaths. Again, hydrating if needed. onto the toes, bend the knees, look in between the hands, step or float. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, the flat back, come to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, release and lift. This time, exhale, chair. Hold. Make sure you can see the toes over the knees. Sitting back, weight in the heels. Engaging the abs, squeezing the glutes. And then as you exhale, bring the arms back. Inhale, arms up. Again, exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Last time, hold. Bring the hands to heart center. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Make sure that the elbows are still aligned. If one isn't going back further than the other. Options here include side crow, flamingo, release, untwist, come back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, release and lift. Sit back, chair, hold. Exhale, arms back into airplane. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hands to heart center. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Checking your knees, make sure that they are in line. Same options available on this side. Try to do whatever you did on the other side to maintain balance. Release and back to center. Come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step or float. Chaturanga. To upper dog. To downward facing dog, taking 3 deep breaths. Right leg lifts. This time as we exhale, we're going to bring it to the outside of the right foot. Hand. Back knee comes down. Lizard. Option to stay as is. Option to allow the foot to fall open. Maybe bring the hand to the inside of the thigh. Option to reach back. Grab the foot. Quad stretch, or option to come down. Coming back up. Bend, or back knee comes up off the mat. This time as you step the right foot back, come into side plank. So either stagger the feet, or you can stack the feet and one on top of the other. Make sure the hips are raising towards the sky. Exhale, release. Take your chaturanga or go into downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Exhale. Step outside of the left hand, back knee comes down. Lizard on the left. Same options available. Transitioning, bring that back knee up off the mat. Left foot comes back, transitioning to side plank. Either stagger the feet or stack. Exhale, release. Chaturanga or downward facing dog. Hydrate or towel off. Right leg lifts. Knee to chest, step through, crescent. Now rotate that back foot. Come into warrior two. Check your form. External rotation, pull back, knee over ankle. You should still be able to see the big toe on the inside of the knee. Arms stretching equally from the back and the front. Engage the lower abs, squeeze the glutes. Ground, pinky toe side of the back foot. If you need more room, bring the hip in a little. Palm flips, inhale. Humble warrior. Gaze can be at the foot or at the hand. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, forearm to thigh, arm up. Option to bring the arm down. Option to extend. Option to circle. Inhale, back up. Straighten that front leg. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale, release. Arm extends. Gaze can be up or down. Neck in alignment with the spine. Triangle pose. Staying here. If you're coming into half moon, come onto the ball of the back foot, or actually stay here. You're going to put the hand or block a foot out in front of the pinky toe. We're going to step in. Let's float the back foot off the ground. Trying to make sure the shoulders are stacked over each other. The hips are stacked. Exhale, step back. Warrior two. Turn the front feet in. Inhale, lift the arms. Palms touch. Exhale, fold. Heels wider than the toes. As you inhale, come up to a flat back. Exhale, come deeper. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale. Exhale, hold. Hands can come to the outside of the feet. Option to come into headstand. Now release the feet and walk the hands out, coming onto the fingertips. Weight back in the heels. Release the hands back under the heart. Left hand stays planted, raising the right. Option to bring the hand to the hip and just open up the shoulder and the chest. Option to bring the left hand over. Exhale wherever you're at. Release the hands. Right hand stays planted, left arm reaches. Or hand to hip, opening up the chest. Option to reach through and over with the right hand. Release. Now we're going to rotate. High lunge facing the front of the mat. Bring that front foot back. Take a vinyasa. Left leg lifts. Exhale, step through, crescent. Staying on the ball of that back foot. Then opening up. Warrior two. Each exhale, lunge a little bit further. Remember to be present. Don't be thinking about when this pose is going to end. Enjoy the burn. Flip that front palm, arm comes up. Holding the pose. Warrior two. Forearm to thigh, arm up. Option to bring the hand to the inside, arm come over. Option to rotate the arm. Bringing the bottom shoulder forward, back shoulder back, or top shoulder back. Inhale, warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, release. Opposite arm reaches towards the sky. Half moon, block your hand, a foot in front of the pinky toe, bend the knee, float the back leg. Stacking the shoulders and the hips. Exhale, step back. Warrior two. Rotate the front toes in. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And again. This time hold. Release the hands underneath the heart, bending the right leg and knee. Left toes extend towards the sky. Option to bind. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend the left knee. Same options. Inhale back to center. Rotating to the front of your mat into high lunge. Step the front foot back. Taking your vinyasa. Taking 3 deep breaths. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step through. Back knee comes down. Inhale, the arms up. Lengthen. Exhale. Drop the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Release the hands. Back knee comes up off the mat. Straighten the front leg. You need to bring the back foot closer. Please do so. Bend that front knee, plant the hands, kick back and up. And as you exhale, bring the right foot to the outside of the mat. Left arm reaches up and open. Exhale, release, kick back up. Foot comes down, left leg lifts. Step through. Back knee comes down, inhaling up. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale, release the hands. Straighten the front leg. Bring the back leg closer if you need to. Dance around in your soul, you flicker out, not the light I used to. I don't believe the safety net. Bend that front knee, plant the hands. Kick the foot back. Set it down. Take your vinyasa. Left leg lifts again. This time step it through. Outside of the mat. Right arm grips. Release. Backing up. Exhale. Take 3 deep breaths. Bend the knees, come up on the toes. This time we're going to hop feet to the outside of the hands. Hands to heart center. If you need to, sit on a block, sit on a block. Option to extend the arms. Option to work on your crow. If you're extending, switch sides. Where's the light? Release the hands to the mat. And then just stand up. Forward bend. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time. Come to standing. Reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. This time as you exhale, bring the right arm underneath the left. Sit back. Right leg comes over the left. Option to use the toe as a kickstand. Raise the elbows, drop the shoulders. Release and lift. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again. This time the left hand arm comes underneath the right. Sit back. Left leg over right. Elbows up. Release and stand, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, dive. Inhale, so flat back. Exhale, step or float. Pushing back, downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths. Getting water. Right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to the wrist. Foot comes down the middle. Pigeon pose. Either sit up tall. Option to come down. If you feel as though you're sinking to the right and the hips aren't level, pick a block, put it underneath the buttock of the bent knee. Twenty more seconds. If you have a block, move it to the side. Come back up onto the hands. Transitioning. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Knee to chest and kick back and up. Then release the foot down. Left leg lifts. Exhale. Knee to wrist. Sit up tall. An option to come down. 20 more seconds. Coming back up onto the hands, tucking the back toes, bringing that back knee up off the mat. Knee to chest, keep backing up, and release. Inhale to plank position. Exhale, bring the knees down. Sit back. And then come to kneeling. Bring the hands out in front. Engaging the abs and the quads, top of the legs. Giving a flat back. Spine, neck aligned. Lower back. Come back up. Again. And back up. Last time. And back up. Option here. Times behind you. Lower back. Option to drop the hands down. Slowly come back up. Sit back and tuck the toes. Bring the arms beside you and release the forehead to the mat. Inhale back to tabletop. And then just sit back. Bring the legs out in front. Bring the right foot in. Chest facing forward over that front leg. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. If you have a strap, shirt, anything handy. Allow the forehead to drop. Inhale, come back up. Bring that knee up. Hop the fence. Option to bring the front leg back. Sitting up tall. Either hug the knee in. Bring that left arm up and across. Twisting, looking over the right shoulder. Release the head, release the arms, bow to the opposite side. Inhale back up, front leg comes back. Front shin aligned with the front of the mat. Back leg shin aligned with the side of the mat. Inhale, sit up tall. And options, you can either come straight out or you can come over that bent knee. Whatever feels right for you. Maybe as the muscles start to loosen, walk the hands over to the right. And walk back up. Bring the left hand behind for support. Hips come off the mat. Right arm reaches back. Release. Slowly bring the feet and legs back extended. This time the left foot comes in. Sit up tall. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale back up. Bring that knee in. Hop the fence. Front leg comes back. Sit up tall. Either hug. Bring the right arm up. Go over. Looking over the left shoulder. Release the gaze forward. Release the arms, bow. And back up. Front leg comes back. Sit up tall. An option to come forward or over the bent knee. Maybe walk the hands over to the left. Whatever feels right. Then walk the hands back. Right hand comes back for support. Hips lift. Bent knees, you can place the hands underneath the back of the thighs, otherwise coming into both. Coming onto our back, slowly, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Bring the knees to the chest. Rock side to side, lower lumbar massage. Let the knees fall to the right. Left arm comes to a T, gazing out over the right or left hand. Nail the knees to the chest. Switch sides. Knees come back to the chest, squeezing them in tight, wrapping the forearms around the shins, engaging all the muscles, flexing the feet, pulling the knees in tight, engaging the abs, the glutes, the biceps, the chest. We're going to count to 3. On 3, we're going to extend the legs and allow the feet to fall open. Head comes back onto the mat. Arms come to our sides, palms up to receive, or down to ground with Mother Earth. So squeeze, 1. Squeeze tighter, 2. 3, release. Staying in Shavasana for as long as you like. I was able to record this on YouTube, so I will put my information in my thank you post, so that you can, if you missed it, you can go and rewatch it, retake the session. But as always, take some time to show gratitude to yourself, towards yourself for coming onto your mat, taking at least an hour to do whatever you need to do for you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful and I bow to you. Namaste.